Okay, so we've got all of our 390 parts run through the vat and cleaned up. So here's the deal on this. The camshaft is just a stock type flat tappet, it looks like. Very mild cam, but it's wore out, and we knew that. Timing chain and gears were loose. The harmonic balancer, the rubber's coming out of it and dry rotted. The sleeve, these don't really wear too much, and the seal surface looks good, so we'll finish cleaning that up and reuse it. The fuel pump eccentric looks good. Of course, this is your oil slinger that goes under the front cover, and the front cover is here. It doesn't have any electrolysis or wear, so the front cover looks good. We'll reuse the retaining plate. Hey guys, always replace this. This is the intermediate shaft that drives the oil pump, and these have a tendency, these are kind of wimpy and weak on the 390. These are actually notorious for snapping off, and the motor keeps running, but the oil pump stops and it seizes the motor. I've seen it happen twice. You want to replace this with a good aftermarket, like an ARP unit, something that's much stronger. The key, of course, we're going to replace the keyways. The lifters, toast. We're going to actually go with a roller cam in this engine, and more than likely a stroker kit. We looked at the bearings earlier, down to the coppers. Never reuse an oil pump. We're going to replace that. And we're also going to replace a pickup screen. Sometimes I'll take these apart and clean them if it's something rare and I can't find this, but these pickup tubes are readily available for the FEs, so we're just going to replace all of that. That brings us to our piston and rod assemblies. We did verify that the engine is indeed 30 over now. These are the 390 rods. They're much thicker. I torqued a couple of these up and checked the big end bore. Lots of outer round down here. Now keep in mind the FE motors are full floating pins, and so we have a C-clip in here, and there's actually a bronze bushing up in the top of the rod that has to be replaced. The pistons, quite a bit of wear on them. We weren't planning on reusing that stuff anyway. So since we're going with a stroker, we're basically just going to replace all this stuff with the exception of a few of these components that don't wear. Okay, so now the bad news. Got the block cleaned up and we magnafluxed it. Unfortunately, if you look right here, we have a crack running right there. And so unfortunately, and Michael already knows about this. In fact, he's already acquired a new block for this thing. The block is junk, so we're going to have to get another block. But I talked to him today, and I didn't really want to post any of this until I talked to him about all of it, and he knows what's going on. So he's actually acquired another block here locally, and so we're going to get another block in here and check it out. But so one of the things I wanted to kind of show you here, since I got this block here, this is a 6.0 GM block Chevrolet that we just bored, and I just put cam bearings in it, and we actually bored this 62 thousandths over, and he's going to make it. It's going to be a 6.2 liter in engine size only. It's not an actual 6.2, even though does display 6.2 liters. But I wanted to show you the design. Remember, we talked about the 390 and it has the skirted block. This is what they're talking about. So on the earlier Chevy blocks, the main caps, they stick way up above the pan rail. On these, the pan rail actually supports the main caps, and actually there's side bolts in here. So this is a 6-bolt main. So a lot of the LSs have 4 bolts here, and then they have 1 bolt on each side. So it's actually a 6-bolt main. Very, very durable block. This is the engine that makes the Ford guys say, yeah, GM copied Ford. But keep in mind, this design engine has been around since pre-World War II. It was done in Europe by the Germans and everybody, pretty much. So that's just silliness. But yeah, they are much stronger blocks. It's a very, very good design. And if you notice, very similar to the 390 design. So it's a really good block, really stout. So we're not really going to do or I'm not going to do a disassembly on this other motor, the Core 390 that he gets, because I mean it's just kind of redundant. We already did it on this engine, so so once we get that engine here, I'll shoot some more of this, and I'm going to get that other engine cleaned up. I'm going to go ahead and strip it down and clean it, because I don't really want to. And honestly, I don't know if he got a complete engine or if he's getting a bare block or what's happening with it. But we have definitely decided to go with a stroker kit on this engine, so the whole rotating assembly is going to be probably scat or something of that nature, and we're going to make this bigger cubic inches. We want to get some big power out of this thing, so that'll be. Stay tuned. Right now, there's really not a lot I can do until I get those parts.